How's it, everybody? I thought I should show you something that I've just made. Have a look at this. This is something that you might like. It's everybody that probably is on lockdown. A lot of guys have been thinking about starting their own YouTube channels and such like things, and then thought, how much does a steadicam cost, or how much does a gimbal cost? So I thought, could I make something that could do the job with what I had lying around at home? So I looked at a whole bunch of different options, and I thought, what would be the cheapest way of doing it? And I found a bunch of scraps, which you would have seen in the thumbnail, and I made this. So have a look at how it works. This is just it can take your phone over here, or it can take a tiny little camera like this, or even a bigger one. So all that will happen is if you change the size of the counterweight that's needed over here. So this one is filled with oil. So have a look what it does. It really just steadies the camera as you move it. So if the camera has already got some sort of stabilizing in it, a lot of times when you're using a camera by hand, you have a slight rock to it. And what this does is it takes it away altogether. So I'm still working on a different design, so I'm going to add a little clip of what you'll be able to see what it actually does to the picture when I'm walking out in the yard. I'm walking down a series of steps and downhill, and you'll see one image has got a little bit of a shutter to it, the other one doesn't, and that's recorded using this. So yeah, that's the cheapest design I could possibly come up with for a Steadicam. Hope you like the design, and please watch the video, and if you like it, feel free to subscribe and like my video, and don't forget to leave a comment. Thanks, enjoy the video. Okay, so these are the few basic ingredients I'm going to be using to make my Steadicam. So hopefully you can understand how it's actually going to work out. The real idea I had here was to make it as budget friendly as humanly possible. So this is a vitamin C bottle, and just a cheap sort of medium size. As you can see by my hand, it's probably about a 250 to 300 ml bottle, and this is going to be used as a counterweight. So I'll show you just now how that's going to work. Okay, so this is your wheel. The wheel is going to be used as part of the swivel mechanism that's going to allow your camera to stay sort of parallel or square to the ground. Then you're going to need just one of these holders for your phone. So I'm using a unit here that this is like a suction cup for like a I think this one is for a GoPro. Okay, so then you need a scrap of wood and a dowel. So all these pieces are what I really had lying around at home to be able to make a Steadicam. And hopefully I'm going to be using a lot of power tools in this video just to make it quicker, but if you've got hand tools, it's going to be easy enough for you to do it with hand tools. Maybe just take you a little bit longer. So let's get into it. Sweet. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here, we need this little mounting point piece from the GoPro suction cup, that part. So that track, let's use the track. So yeah, that's the piece that we're going to need for the start of the gimbal. So let me show you the first piece we're going to make, which we need a part that looks like that for it to mount onto this dowel. So this is an old dowel I just had lying around, so we need to make something that looks like that. As you can see, the dowel is a lot smaller than this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by cutting a groove into this dowel. So I'm going to mark it by taking this piece of the ball adjuster from the camera. Quite easily, you just push it in, just rotate it around. You can see it's making a little mark there. As you can see here, The groove is not exactly the same as the groove that was on here. I've actually made it a smaller groove because I want this piece to sort of, it's got that taper, I want it to sort of dig in there so that it holds tighter. So let's hope I'm getting it right. Time to test it. Push that in. The ball. Other half. Want it to clamp onto the dowel and hold that right. Aha! Check. We're getting there. Okay, so now that's on the dowel, that's nice and snug. So now, that's step one. So now we've got the mounting on the dowel. So now I'm going to show you what this plank is going to be used for here, this piece of wood. So now we go to our wheel. Here's our wheel. So this is the wheel is going to be your two axes of movement. So can you picture this wheel has to come off, so that's going to be one axis, that's going to be the other. Let me just take this wheel off. Sorry about the clang. So I've got the wheel. So we don't need the wheel at all. The wheel is kind of waste, we don't need that. So now what we need is that it's going to be mounted to this somehow. That's where this piece of wood comes in. So we just have to measure this here gap and cut a strip out of the wood. Okay, so now what we got to do is we've got to cut these pieces to length. So this little piece of dowel, we've got to trim off this little piece of dowel so that we can now glue it to this block of wood. So we're going to trim the block of wood and the piece of dowel now. So I'm cutting this piece of wood that fits the wheel to 150 millimeters long, and then I'm just cutting about a centimeter of the piece of dowel. So you can see me do that next. First what I do is I just clean up the end by just running this through the square cut. So that squares the edge up. So now I'm going to measure my 150. Now we have this little block of wood here. So next, basically you need about double that there. Now we have this little guy, and I'll show you how it goes together. Okay, so now what we've got to do is, this is sort of how it's going to work. That part is going to hang there. This little mounting for that is going to be glued onto there at the center line of where we're going to drill a hole. So now I need to drill a hole through here to be able to now mount everything together. So let's do that. Just have to find the center because that's important for it to balance. There we go. So I've already got a drill bit here with the right size drill bit, which I'm using a 6mm drill bit here, so that the 6mm bolt can pass through it. See, that's the kind of movement we want. So now to counterweight the phone or the camera that you're using on this piece of wood, I'm going to be using this vitamin C bottle, just because it's a large bottle and everybody's taking vitamin C at the moment. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off. So now I'm going to hot glue the lid to the bottom here. Also try and center it in the piece of wood. hold it down for a few seconds. Just take a small screw, screw it through. There we go. Okay, so now we need something to make a handle for there. So I found this little random offcut, and I'm going to just drill a hole through it with this drill bit so that it can mount on here and serve as the handle for the setup.
You hold the strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way.
Now this will go there, and we simply put that nut on. So got a washer here. So you want to make this very tight, okay, because you want that sort of motion to happen like that. So that's where you'll hold it, that's where your camera will mount. So now this goes there. Nut goes there. So now you can see this piece now will come on here. So you're going to get the ball in first, and this piece is going to come on there. But what I learned from previous exercises of this experiment, you want the butterfly to be on the back, so that'll fit like that. This bolt will come through. Hold that there if your glue's not set here yet. But now, if you loosen this butterfly, you've got adjustment of your phone to level it up there. As you can see, look what it's doing. Keeping it square. But as you can see, it's still tilting at the bottom. That's where this little thing comes in. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to fill this with some oil. I'll tell you why. Okay, so now this little bottle that's going to act as the counterweight to this whole assembly. I've got some here. I keep all the used cooking oil and stuff to run in diesel cars. It tends to work pretty well. So I've got some used cooking oil here that's been filtered that I'm going to pour into this bottle. So the reason we're going to use the oil here instead of using just water or something in this bottle is that oil is it's less viscous than well, more viscous than water is. So what's going to end up happening is that as it sloshes around inside, it's going to move slower than water, which would slosh quickly. So just to try and act like a bit of a shock absorber to the assembly to prevent it swaying. So let's do that. Try not to spill. So I'm not going to fill it the whole way, I'm going to fill it about to this line. About as much as we need. So now I'm going to use my hot glue gun again, and I'm actually going to glue this lid on so we don't have any leaks once it's tightened up. So I'm just going to run a bead of hot glue around inside here. Let's hope that doesn't leak now. Let's see. There we have it. Completed setup. How's that? Okay, so now we've finished this thing, so now maybe we should take it apart and make it look a bit prettier. Okay, to make these things look pretty, I'm using what I've got lying around. I've got some black high temperature enamel that I'm going to paint this with. Then I've got some Rust-Oleum crystal clear that I'm going to paint the handle with. But something weird has happened to this can, so it's only working when you spray upside down. So yeah, let me put that one side. I'll spray this so I can let it dry. Okay, so I'm back. Here's all the pieces. There's the little action camera. I've painted that black, so now you can see how it looks. Handle. Okay, got a couple of tools here just to put the thing back together again, just so you see how it works. And there we have it. I'm now actually holding the steadicam that I just made. You saw me in the video. So I'm actually just showing you what it can actually do. This is my phone, and I'm moving around a little bit just so that you can see the bit of sway that it's going to get, and what it can actually do for you. So hopefully you like this idea. I'm here in my room just busy moving around just so that you can get an idea of what this will do. And yeah, if you like it, please don't forget to subscribe and yeah, like this video. And if there's something you'd like to see me make, please don't forget to leave a comment. But yeah, I hope this helps you. And yeah, everything that you saw me make this with, I literally had lying around at home, so it cost me nothing. But yeah, I thought I'd tidy it up and make it look pretty awesome. But yeah, so I'm going to actually, once I turn this around, I'm recording with the back camera on my phone. So I hope it's as smooth as I think. But yeah, you can see as you turn, it should keep it pretty steady. And yeah, I've always wanted a gimbal, but I decided to make this. So yeah, I'm hoping you like this video. And if you do, please feel free to like, share and subscribe and leave a comment on my channel. I would much appreciate that.